Okay. The log file I got is like college underscore course underscore graduate. This is the report file which had two entities with attributes listed. See, I got the file with a log of courses and students that have completed and graduated from the course with two entities. Course and student are two entities. Here we're considering the course to be the parent and student to be the child, which has the primary key of course ID, and course ID is a foreign key for the child, and student ID is the primary key for the student. So with the two given entities, we derive the attributes. Here I have modified and derived the list of attributes and marked which one is the primary and which one is the foreign key. See, once we receive the report file, first thing is that we, with the entities, we have to draw the ERD diagram. So here I have drawn, first image displays the relationship like one to one or one to many, the relationship, and the second one is the entities with attributes and primary key and foreign key are specified, are marked. So first thing is that we have drawn the ERD diagram, and the second part is like we have to populate the database with the sample data. Sample data is given by our professor. So with that and with macro.com, all those things, we have populated and created tables and populated the data from the sample data. So table creations I have done and value insertion for both the tables, course and student I have done. So finally, if you see through, with the course table has the parent table has 30 rows and the child table has 80 rows. So here, what is the point? Once we have created the tables and inserted the values and we have a database now. So what we are going to do with the created database? Now we are going to perform analytical function. What do you mean by analytical functions, which is available in Oracle? See, analytical function is basically used to analyze the data over multiple rows and return the result in the current row. See, here I have run through so many examples, like I've used the analytical functions to find out the running totals, ranking the rows, and some aggregation also I have performed on the previous and the forthcoming row, etc. See, what I have concluded by performing all those things is that though some of my example can also be achieved through normal SQL, that is native SQL using joins and subqueries, and some may be achieved through standard aggregation functions. But what I found is that analytical functions makes it much easier and faster. That's my conclusion towards running through all the analytical functions. I'm being a basic user of SQL. I found this is the difference of running through the analytical functions. So many analytical functions are there. See, for example, like here I have used over lead, nth value, rank, dense rank, and lead and tag also I have done with the same example, row number, last value, first value, and a regression and prediction also I have performed. So some of the main functions I have run through the given data set and just observe the results. So what I derived from the first value and the nth value. See, the first value actually, the last value returns the last value in the ordered set of values from the analytical window. It is somewhat similar to first and the last value. See here, let's talk about the nth value here. I have specifically, if you see through my query, I have specifically used the nth value for ranking, for displaying the second highest mark scored in the course. See, which I can't proceed through the first value or the last value. Why I've chosen the nth value? Because this returns the nth value in the ordered set of values. See, it is similar. It is pretty similar to first value and the last value, except the nth values will allow you to find the current position. Here we have found the second, who is the second position, like certain position. If you want to display results on certain position, who is the second position, who is the third position, then you can just go with the nth value instead of last value or the first value. Here I have displayed the second highest mark scored in the course and display the result in ascending order as well. So that's how the nth value, first value, last value works. If we talk about the lead and One more is lag. See, the lead is an analytical function. I'll show you where I've used the lead. Both I have implemented in the same example, lead and lag. The lead is an analytical function, as we know, which allows us to query more than one row in a table. That's like, while not having the table to join, without using join, I'll show you, without using join function, like if you want to just use the lead without having a table to join, you can just query more than one row in a table. And this also returns from the next row in the table. To return the value from the previous row, you have to use a lag function, which I have used the lag function. So lag for previous value, see here, pre-average score, and this is next average score. This returns the next, this returns the pre. Both of them I have highlighted in the one example. So that's how the lead and lag works. See, when we talk about the dense rank and the normal rank, see, let me tell you with the best example of ranking. Okay, let's see through this ranking. See, rank, what it does is that it ranks. For example, if five people are in the competition, and three people is like, the second position is shared by three people, then the third position will be counted as the next person who is actually to be counted as the third prize will be counted as the fifth place. That is the difference between dense rank and rank. See, this rank, I have used the rank to achieve the top n results in the year of starter. Here, I'll talk about the dense rank. What is the difference between rank and dense rank? See, the difference between rank and dense rank is that dense rank leaves no gaps in ranking sequences when there are ties. As I told about the example competition, when you're having a competition using dense rank, when you're dealing with a competition using dense rank, if the three people sharing the second position, then what happens? The next person will come as the third. It will not leave any gap, as we seen in the example of rank. That is the difference between rank and the dense rank. Here I've also used the next concept, the ratio to report. Why I'm discussing all these things are pretty new to me, so I'm discussing each and every function so far I've used, like, which is somewhat I felt as little different. So here I have used the ratio to report to display. First, I've taken 2 3 columns to display and the detail of the average. The ratio to the report, like compute the ratio of the value of the sum of set of value. That's how average marks are there. See, it will return null if it will also evaluate the null if you have null values, but we don't have null values. In case of null values, it will take the null value as a 0 and it will compute the result. That's a small difference that lies between ratio to report with null values and without null values. Okay, so correlation and standard deviation, regression, correlation, standard deviation, all these things are same only. The most important thing we need to discuss here is about a linear function, which I've done in the as a part of last query, which is 22nd. Yeah. So linear regression and a predictive model I have used. A prediction can be done through a normal linear regression. That's what we have done. That is like, no, you can just see the questions. Like, I have computed a list of regression slope, regression intercept, and the coefficient of correlation between minimum course fees and the maximum course fees in the given sample data. And using the statistics, I predicted the course fees of the student for the sample given data with the sample. Here, this is the range of pass the range of fees inside the model. Okay, perform the analytics. See what the linear regression function does. The linear regression function supports the fitting of an ordinary least square regression line to a set of number of pairs. See, you can use them both on aggregate function or windowing and or reporting function. So many functions are there, like regression count, a regression average through y-axis, regression through x-axis, all function, and slope and intercept is the what I have done. When you see through the example here, you can find that we can see inline views here and with subqueries. So I've used inline and subqueries for finding the regression slope for the course fees and the non-course, and the course fees for non-European people, for European and non-European students. Okay, see, and we can use this to find the intercept. The regression underscore intercept is used to find the regression between the variable, whether it's a dependent or independent variable. All those things we have passed a sample course fees. We have taken 4 different categories and passed. This slope function actually has 2 parameters, e1 and e2. Like we consider to be E1 and E2. See, this function, the linear regression intercept function, computes y-intercept of regression line. That's what we got. And even in case of null values, whenever the slope of the regression having a null, it averages to the null value. So here, the main concept of the analytical function here is that after using all this analytical function, I came to the conclusion that this can be, some of the questions can be achieved through a basic SQL, and some of the question can be achieved through basic standard aggregate functions. But what happens here with the analytical function is that this is simple. We need not write a query inside a query. See, all these examples what I've done, I've just didn't use much of subquery on inline function, all those things. All the functions I've used with a few number of lines and either the same result which can be achieved with multiple number of lines in when you write in the normal query. So, towards my conclusion, I would like to say that this is simple and concise wording. You have very concise wordings, and the network load is reduced because the final result is obtained in few lines. And the best part here is that analytical function have computation algorithms. Because of which what happened, the query processing optimizing, which in turn optimizes the faster results. As I earlier said that comparative to the normal native SQL function, this analytical function is faster. That's the thing, faster. You can yield the results with few lines with many functions which is available here. That's the conclusion I would like to just convey after using. Since I'm a basic SQL user, now I feel every function has to be different. Like I felt every function to be very different, and mostly learned each functions through this assignment. Each like maximum 10 to 12 functions I've learned because of this assignment in relational database. So the analytical function is a new concept, and this is like it will get you a faster result optimizing the network load. Thank you.